The Breaking Point. The Galactic Federation Assembly Hall towered over Ambassador Kai Reeves, its crystalline dome capturing and refracting the light of 3 distant suns. 300 species from across the galaxy gathered here to make decisions that affected trillions of lives across thousands of worlds. Yet after 5 years representing Earth, Kai knew one immutable truth: humans weren't welcome. The representative from Sol System will refrain from further commentary, announced High Chancellor Zorix, their tentacled appendages rippling with barely concealed annoyance. The matter of resource allocation for the Orion sector has already been decided. Kai gripped the podium tighter, feeling the familiar burn of frustration. With respect, Chancellor, Earth's colonies on Mars and Europa depend on those shipping lanes. The proposed restrictions would effectively ensure proper distribution among qualifying member worlds, interrupted Ambassador Threll of the Vesperi Collective, his exoskeleton clicking as he turned to address the assembly rather than Kai directly. The Sol delegation forgets their provisional status. Provisional status. The diplomatic euphemism for humanity's glorified quarantine. 73 years since first contact, and Earth remained confined to its own solar system, restricted from developing certain technologies, and consistently overruled in Federation matters. Kai collected his notes with steady hands that betrayed none of the anger simmering beneath. Very well. Sol System acknowledges the Assembly's decision. Later, in the relative privacy of the human embassy, a modest structure dwarfed by the grand diplomatic compounds of senior Federation members, Kai threw his datapad across the room. "That bad?" asked Dr. Maya Winters, Earth's chief xenobiologist and Kai's closest friend in this alien bureaucratic maze. "Worse," Kai replied, loosening his collar. "They've cut our supply lines to the outer colonies by 30%. Europa's fusion development facility will be shut down by winter." Maya handed him a drink. Real whiskey, smuggled from Earth at considerable expense. "Then it's time you saw this." She activated a secure holographic projection. Images of devastation filled the room. Collapsed habitats, bodies contorted in agony, environmental systems in catastrophic failure. "What am I looking at?" Kai whispered, though he already suspected the answer. "Proxima Centauri, our research outpost." Maya's voice was clinical, masking horror. Officially recorded as a containment failure last month. 47 researchers, all dead. And unofficially, biological agent, highly sophisticated. It targets genetic markers unique to humans, breaks down cellular cohesion within hours. She pulled up another image, microscopic structures with an unmistakably engineered symmetry. "This isn't natural evolution, Kai. Someone designed this." Kai's blood ran cold. "The Federation has strict laws against bioweapons. If we bring this evidence, I already tried through official channels." Maya's laugh was bitter. "My report was classified, research materials confiscated. The Science Directorate ruled it an unfortunate accident arising from human experimental error." Who would do this? And why? The better question is, who wouldn't? Maya's eyes met his. "We're the unpredictable variable, Kai. Humans adapt too quickly, innovate too readily. Several Federation species have evolutionary histories spanning millions of years with minimal change. They see us as chaotic." Kai stared at the images of his dead countrymen. "We need to get this information back to Earth." "There's more." Maya's voice dropped further. "This wasn't an isolated incident. I've identified similar patterns at 3 other outposts in the past year, all classified as accidents. They're testing delivery methods." Kai realized, military training from his youth resurfacing. "Refining the weapon." "Exactly. And based on atmospheric dispersal patterns." Maya hesitated. "I believe they're preparing for deployment on a planetary scale." The implications crushed down on Kai's shoulders. Earth. 8 billion lives. Humanity's cradle. "How long do we have?" "My models suggest 6 months, maybe less." Kai drained his whiskey. The Federation Council meets in 2 days to review Earth's provisional status. I'll present your findings, force them to acknowledge. You'll be dismissed as paranoid. Maya cut in. Humans are already characterized as conspiracy theorists. Remember the Retaliation ambassador's statement last year? Humans see patterns where none exist, a charming but troubling cognitive defect. Then what do you suggest? We can't sit back and wait for extinction. Maya's gaze hardened. We've been working on something. Off the books. Against Federation restrictions. Maya, 40 years we've played by their rules, Kai. Accepted their limitations on our development. Trusted their protection. She gestured to the images of the dead. This is where trust got us. She retrieved a small device from her pocket. A quantum encrypt key. Everything's here. Research, prototypes, contingency plans. Earth needs to know we're coming. We're coming. After tomorrow's session, a diplomatic courier ship leaves for Sol. I've arranged passage for both of us. Kai studied her face, the face of a scientist who dedicated her life to peaceful cooperation with alien species. Now she looked like a soldier preparing for war. The Federation believes they understand humanity, Kai said slowly. They've cataloged our strengths, analyzed our weaknesses, restricted what they fear most about us. They've never seen what happens when humans have nothing left to lose, Maya finished. The next day, Kai stood before the Federation Council one final time. The vast chamber held representatives from the 15 most powerful species, those who truly governed galactic affairs. The Sol system appreciates this annual review of our status. Kai began, his voice steady. For 73 years, humanity has complied with all restrictions placed upon us, limited our expansion, curtailed our technological development, submitted to oversight. High Chancellor Zorix nodded with patronizing approval. The Federation acknowledges humanity's cooperation. Ambassador, with continued compliance, perhaps in another century, certain travel restrictions might be reconsidered. Another century. How generous. I've come to submit new evidence regarding attacks on human outposts, Kai continued, initiating the holoprojector. The images that appeared, detailed analysis of the bioweapon, dispersal patterns, mortality rates, caused immediate commotion. This session will recess immediately. Zorix thundered. Ambassador Reeves has violated security protocols regarding classified incidents. Classified to hide genocide, Kai replied, voice cutting through the chaos. These weapons specifically target human DNA. They've been tested on our research stations with Federation knowledge, if not direct approval. The Morrigan delegate, General Krev, rose from his seat. The massive reptilian's scales flushed with anger. These allegations are preposterous. The Federation would never sanction. Then explain why Dr. Winter's research was confiscated. Explain the security lockdown at each affected station. Explain. Enough. Zorix slammed their ceremonial staff. Security, remove the human representative. As Federation guards approached, Kai stood his ground. Today marks the end of humanity's compliance. We withdraw from all Federation agreements, effective immediately. A stunned silence fell across the chamber. You cannot withdraw. The Vesperi ambassador sputtered. Your provisional status requires. Requires what? Kai challenged. Your approval. Your permission. For a species you're actively planning to exterminate. The guards reached for him, but Kai was already backing toward the exit. You believe you understand humans. You've studied our history, assessed our capabilities, imposed your limitations, but you've made one critical error. The council members stared, some in shock, others with the dawning realization that something unprecedented was occurring. You've only seen humanity under constraints. You have no idea what we're capable of when pushed too far. Kai stepped through the doorway. And you're about to find out. 3 hours later, the diplomatic courier ship broke orbit, Maya and Kai aboard with their precious data. As the vessel accelerated toward the jump point that would begin their journey home, Kai gazed out at the glittering federal capital. "Do you think they believe us?" Maya asked. "That we're actually rebelling?" Kai shook his head. "They see us as primitive, emotional, irrational. They'll assume this is a diplomatic tantrum that will resolve itself when we realize our dependence on them." "When did you know?" Maya asked. "That we'd need to fight." Kai thought of all the subtle humiliations, the patronizing speeches, the technological restrictions disguised as safety protocols. "I suspected from my first day as ambassador, but I tried to believe in the system." The ship's comm system chimed. A priority message from Earth, responding to Kai's encrypted warning sent hours earlier. The holographic figure of Admiral Helena Chen materialized, her weathered face grim. "Ambassador, your intelligence confirms our worst fears. Protocol Lazarus is now in effect. Return to Earth with all possible speed." Kai and Maya exchanged glances. Protocol Lazarus, the contingency plan humanity had hoped never to implement. "Admiral," Kai asked, "has the Federation detected?" "Nothing yet," Chen replied. "Our activities remain concealed. We'll brief you fully upon return." Chen out. As the transmission ended, the ship's emergency alert blared. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Federation vessels approaching at combat speed. All passengers secure for emergency maneuvers." Through the viewport, Kai saw 3 Federation patrol ships on an intercept course, weapons charged. "They're faster than we expected," Maya said quietly. "They underestimate us even now," Kai replied as the ship lurched into evasive action. "They think stopping us will prevent what's coming." The Federation ships opened fire, energy beams lancing through space. The diplomatic vessel shuddered under impacts it was never designed to withstand. "Hull breach on Deck 3. The captain announced. "Jumping in 30 seconds." Maya clutched the data module containing her research. "If we don't make it." "Earth already has the warning," Kai assured her. "Protocol Lazarus is active. Humanity won't go quietly." As the Federation ships closed in for the kill, the diplomatic courier made its desperate jump, vanishing from normal space, carrying with it humanity's knowledge of betrayal and the seeds of rebellion that would soon change the galaxy forever. The human respawns. 6 months later, High Chancellor Zorix stood before the Federation Security Council, tentacles trembling with uncharacteristic anxiety. "The human situation has evolved," they admitted to the assembled leaders. "The Sol system has gone dark. All diplomatic channels remain unanswered. Our monitoring stations at the system's edge have been systematically disabled." General Krev of the Morgan Imperium snorted. "Let them sulk. Their tantrum changes nothing." "With respect, General," interrupted Security Director Vala, her translucent skin pulsing with bioluminescent warning patterns, "this is no tantrum. Our deep cover assets on Earth report intensive mobilization. Their entire industrial capacity has shifted to military production." Ambassador Threll's antennae twitched nervously. "Impossible. Human military technology is centuries behind ours. Their ships can barely achieve reliable interplanetary transit." "That was true," Vala conceded, "under the restrictions we imposed. But our latest intelligence suggests they've been developing alternative technologies. In secret, for decades." A murmur rippled through the chamber. "Preposterous," Krev dismissed. "Our oversight protocols were circumvented," Vala finished. "Humans are remarkably adept at concealing activities when properly motivated." High Chancellor Zorix called for order. Director Vala's concerns, while troubling, are secondary to our primary objective. The human containment operation proceeds as scheduled. The bioweapon deployment vessels are en route to Sol, with projected arrival in 14 standard days. What none of them knew was that Commander Kai Reeves was already within striking distance. The FSS Defiance hung in the dark space behind Triton, Neptune's largest moon. The vessel represented humanity's greatest secret, one of 12 prototype warships built in hidden facilities beneath Earth's oceans and within hollowed-out asteroids. Ships constructed with technologies the Federation had explicitly forbidden humans from developing. On the bridge, Kai stood beside Admiral Chen, watching tactical displays track the approaching Federation fleet. 7 vessels, Chen noted. They're not even trying to mask their approach. Still think we're harmless. Kai studied the formation. The central ship will carry the bioweapon. Standard Federation deployment protocol places high-value assets at the center of the formation. Then that's our primary target. Chen turned to her tactical officer. Prepare jump coordinates. All ships maintain stealth protocols until my mark. Throughout the Sol system, the 11 other vessels like the Defiance waited in precision ambush positions, the culmination of Project Lazarus, humanity's insurance policy against extinction. All commanders, this is Admiral Chen. Operation Breaking Point commences in 5 minutes. The seconds tick down as the Federation fleet approached Neptune's orbit, completely unaware of what awaited them. All ships, execute jump, Chen ordered. The Defiance vanished from conventional space, exploiting principles of quantum positioning that Federation scientists had theorized but never successfully implemented. Humans, with their knack for turning theoretical physics into practical applications, had managed what their superiors could not. The Defiance reappeared directly above the Federation formation, followed milliseconds later by 11 sister ships, materializing in perfect encirclement. Before the Federation vessels could react, the human fleet opened fire. Not with conventional energy weapons or kinetic projectiles, but with targeted electromagnetic pulses specifically calibrated to Federation shield frequencies. Frequencies that Maya Winters had painstakingly documented over years of seemingly innocuous research. The Federal ship's shields collapsed instantaneously. Their weapons systems, navigation, and communications went dark. All targets neutralized, reported the tactical officer. No casualties on either side. Launch boarding parties, Chen commanded. Secure the bioweapon. Within 20 minutes, teams of human soldiers, wearing powered exoskeletons that multiplied their strength and speed, had boarded the Federation vessels. They encountered minimal resistance. Most alien crews were still in shock at how quickly their supposedly invincible ships had been disabled. On the bridge of the Defiance, a holographic projection materialized. The face of High Admiral Vrex, commander of the Federation Task Force. This outrage will not stand, the Alturian officer hissed, compound eyes blinking rapidly in distress. The full might of the Federation will descend upon your world for this act of piracy. This isn't piracy, Admiral, Kai replied calmly. This is self-defense against an imminent biological attack on our homeworld. We carry no such weapon. Vrex lied smoothly. Kai smiled. Then you won't mind if we inspect your cargo holds, specifically compartment 17B on your command vessel. The flicker in Vrex's facial membranes, the Alturian equivalent of blanching, confirmed what human intelligence had already discovered. Commander Reeves, Chen interjected. Boarding Team Alpha reports the bioweapon containers have been secured. Containment protocols in effect. Vrex's holographic image sputtered as he struggled for words. This action constitutes a declaration of war against the Galactic Federation. No, Admiral, Kai countered. Your bioweapon constituted the declaration. This is merely humanity's response. With a gesture from Chen, the communication ended. All ships, prepare for Phase 2, the Admiral ordered. Across the solar system, covered human installations activated after decades of silent preparation. From the clouds of Venus to the moons of Jupiter, from the asteroid belt to the Kuiper region, concealed defense platforms powered up, creating an impenetrable defensive grid around humanity's home. Meanwhile, on Earth, Global Defense Command sent the signal that millions of citizens had trained for. In every nation, humanity mobilized not in panic, but with disciplined purpose. This was no surprise attack. This was the culmination of generations of quiet preparation. 3 days later, the Galactic Federation Council convened an emergency session. The mood was one of unprecedented alarm. Reports flooded in from across Federation space. Human sleeper agents had activated, causing critical failures in key systems. Trade routes were disrupted, communication networks compromised, and most disturbing of all, detailed schematics of the bioweapon had been transmitted to every member world, exposing the conspiracy to the galactic public. When the holographic image of Admiral Chen appeared before the Council, accompanied by Kai Reeves, the chamber erupted in outrage. "Order," demanded High Chancellor Zorix, their usual composure shattered. "Human representatives, you will explain these acts of aggression and submit to Federation authority immediately." "We are no longer under Federation authority," Chen replied simply. "Earth and all human settlements hereby declare independence from your governance. We will defend ourselves by any means necessary against further aggression." "Preposterous," sputtered Ambassador Threll. "You cannot simply." "We already have," Kai interrupted, "and we've demonstrated our capability to enforce this declaration." General Krev rose from his seat, massive frame tensed for confrontation. "Your primitive species has existed for a mere blink of cosmic time. You think a few stolen technologies and surprise tactics can stand against civilizations that have ruled the stars for millennia. We don't have to defeat you," Chen explained with the calm confidence of someone holding a winning hand. "We simply have to make attacking us too costly." With a nod from Chen, Kai activated a data stream. The council chamber filled with holographic projections detailing human defensive capabilities, manufacturing capacity, and most importantly, evidence of the back-engineered technologies humans had developed despite restrictions. "Impossible," whispered a Tellarite scientist, eyes widening at the equations. "These adaptive shield harmonics should have taken centuries to develop. For a hierarchical, tradition-bound culture like yours, perhaps," Kai agreed. "But humans thrive on challenges. When you told us something was impossible, we took it as a dare." High Chancellor Zorix studied the projections with growing dread. "What are your demands, Admiral Chen?" "Recognition of human independence, reparations for the attacks on our outposts, and most importantly, a seat at the true table." Chen's gaze swept the chamber. "No more provisional status. No more restrictions on human development. We will not be treated as children or savages any longer." "And if we refuse?" asked Krev. Chen's smile contained no warmth. "Then we release the complete schematics of our quantum jump technology to every species in the galaxy. Your military advantage disappears overnight." Silence fell across the chamber as the implications sank in. The Federation's power rested on technological superiority and controlled distribution of advanced sciences. Democratizing such knowledge would upend the galactic order. After 3 days of furious negotiation, the Treaty of Seoul was signed. Humanity gained its independence and full rights as a sovereign power. The attempted genocide was officially condemned, with those responsible facing justice. 6 months later, Kai stood on the observation deck of humanity's new embassy on the Federation capital world. The structure stood as tall as any other diplomatic compound, a physical representation of humanity's new status. "They still don't understand us," Maya said, joining him at the viewport. "They think we outmaneuvered them through trickery or luck." "Let them think that," Kai replied. "The truth is more uncomfortable, that a species they dismissed as primitive could match centuries of their development in mere decades." Below them, alien diplomats hurried about their business, casting occasional glances at the human embassy. The building's design was distinctly Earth-inspired, yet incorporated architectural elements from dozens of worlds, a visual representation of humanity's greatest strength, the ability to learn, adapt, and integrate. "They're afraid of us now," Maya observed. "I'm not sure that's better than being dismissed. Fear can become respect, given time." Kai turned from the window. "And we have something more important than either. We have our freedom." In the years that followed, humanity emerged as a unique force in galactic politics. Neither conquerors nor vassals, humans became innovators, mediators, and catalysts for change. Their adaptability, once feared as chaos, gradually came to be seen as a vital evolutionary force in a stagnating galactic community. The Federation had pushed humanity to the breaking point, never realizing that what breaks doesn't always shatter. Sometimes it transforms into something stronger, more resilient, and ultimately unstoppable. The final report from High Chancellor Zorix to the Federation Security Council contained a warning that would echo through galactic politics for generations. In our arrogance, we treated humans as inferiors when we should have embraced them as equals. We saw their adaptability as a threat rather than a gift. Never again should we make the mistake of pushing humanity too far, for when backed into a corner, they do not cower. They evolve.